What thing you must experience at least once in life? Two things come to mind. Both are intentionally vague. 1. Completing something that at the onset you were not sure you were able to do, such as running a marathon or graduating college. 2. Realizing one day, after much practice, that you have become good at that thing you once sucked at. Rocket League comes to mind for 2. It hits on the first part of 1 for me. How do you complete Rocket League, LOL? Amen. Starting a rather big and meaningful project and completing it. I wish I could complete small and insignificant projects. Climbing the stairs or climbing a mountain. It's all just a bunch of steps, one after another. I was held hostage by car bomb for about 14 hours once by a man who went AWOL from the special forces. I sat within feet of him the entire time the bomb was dismantled and then had to treat him as a medical provider. At first, it was just terror. I had small children at home, a wife to go home to. But after the initial adrenaline wore off, it was very freeing. I could die at any moment and there was nothing I could do about it. And while that's an almost certainty for all of us, it's usually not something so surreal and in the forefront of our minds. I wasn't worried about my student loans or the rent or my credit card payment or the car loan. None of it. I took a nap for a bit. Everyone should get to feel like that. Maybe we would all slow down and just give each other a break. I'm glad you made it. I love you, bud. I am not a vain person at all, but once I was in a situation where I walked into a room and everyone looked at me in admiration. I very much doubt it will ever happen again. But boy, it was a rush. Wedding day. Funeral. Well, it is now. Northern Lights or Aurora Borealis. But Seymour won't let me in his kitchen. You're an odd fellow. But I must say, you steam a good ham. Seymour, the house is on fire. No, mother. It's just the Northern Lights. A total solar eclipse. To see a black hole in the sky where the sun used to be, with stars all around it in the middle of the day, is an unbelievable experience. And everything gets quiet and the bugs decide it must be nighttime. We had one a year ago. It was awesome. And the drop in temperature is so cool. The 2017 eclipse was seriously one of the coolest things to experience. Snow. I'm from a tropical. It has been a dream since childhood to experience making a snowman or be in a snowball fight. I'm from a snowy climate, and for all our griping about shoveling and being cold, there really is something magical about going outside when it's peacefully snowing. The world sounds muted and it's like being alone, but in a good way. Everything is coated in white and sparkles. And a good snowball fight is always great. And then coming back inside and getting changed into warm fluffy clothes and drinking hot cocoa is amazing. Also, the sound of walking on snow and hearing it crunch under feet is a great feeling. And cracking the ice on a puddle with your boot. It's strangely satisfying. Volunteering your time for a cause or organization, helping a cause you believe in. Having a day when you don't do really anything that you don't want. Don't talk to anyone and just enjoy what you like: reading, gaming, sport, etc. Indeed. Mental health breaks are so important. Whale watching. Solo travel. I get this. I myself like traveling alone as much as with friends. I don't know what it is, but traveling alone just feels good. I guess it's when you're just walking along the sidewalk and thinking deep for me. It's the freedom of it. You don't have to compromise with anyone, or have a reason to do anything. Even if you're partner and you agree on almost everything while traveling, it's still someone to answer to. Skiing powder snow. Did that for the first time this year about a month ago. It's so fun, it's ridiculous. Garlic bread. Yeah, sex is cool, but have you ever had garlic bread? I've had one but not the other. The best physical shape you can possibly be in. One of the worst things you can see after you die is what you could have been. Probably going to be too dead to care. Cuddling with the person you really love. Aha, first I gotta find that partner. Sucks being single. Same. Holding a puppy. Or any baby animal really. The fluffiest ones OFC. Not a baby human. In my experience. My brother, who had a daughter not so long ago, wanted me to hold her for a bit for some photos and so on. Both myself and her survived. Which is good. But she was definitely not happy about being held by some weird person she did not recognize and who clearly had no idea what he was doing. I like holding babies, but hate it when people want me to hold their newborn. It's too tiny and fragile. Let it get a couple of months before you have a goofus like me hold your baby. 3 things comes to mind for me personally. 1. Have your heart be broken. You'll be surprised on how much you learn about yourself during this time period. Be it you realize and self-reflect on what you need to do and mature from it. 2. Solo traveling. You will learn about a lot of the world by doing this. Seeing different cultures, food, music, traditions that you don't normally see on any given day. Appreciate the beauty of the world. 3. Heart-to-heart conversation with someone. Sounds cheesy and looks cheesy. But trust me, you will thank yourself you ever did this. I am super interested in solo traveling, but I'm so anxious that I'll go somewhere and I'll just feel lonely. Lonely and depressed is not how I want to spend my time in a new place. I was planning to take a short weekend trip last summer to a city 6 hours away just for the experience of solo traveling and to see if it's at all for me. Hopefully we'll be able to do it this summer. This one is a serious reply. Everybody should visit a concentration camp at least once in their life. It's an experience that changes your view on humanity. Just going to the museum in DC was a huge shocker. Can't imagine what it must feel inside the real deal. We can't forget it is within us to repeat history. Also think about the Uyghurs in China and what might be happening to them as we speak. Great answer, Lanexus. I've said it before, but the Holocaust Museum is my favorite part of DC and it sounds really f***ing weird. I had the privilege of going while in high school. I will never forget the feeling of going into the room with the victims' shoes. It was like the bottom fell out of my stomach. Answering a question on askreddit. Getting loads of awards on a comment too. Nice try. Hey, you gotta shoot your shot. Finger guns pew pew. Being punched in the f***ing face by someone who means it. You will find out you aren't made of glass. I don't know if this counts, but I did jujitsu for a while until I got pregnant. About once a month or so. Our coach would have us bring MMA gloves and punch each other not hard while we were sparring so we could get a feel for which moves were actually helpful in a real life situation when your opponent is allowed to beat the f*** out of you and not restricted by rules. A lot of fights stop when someone gets punched because your brain is like, oh, I don't like that. The trick is to be able to keep going and keep your wits about you. Yeah, that counts. Jiu-jitsu is legit. Working in retail or the restaurant business? If so, just for a day. Trust me. Would give a lot of Karens a wake-up call. I hope. For a job that's very stressful. Retail is very underappreciated. I'm in my career job now. And I haven't worked as hard now as I ever worked in retail. Even comparing a busy 6 a.m. morning of stocking shelves is something you can't quite describe. You just have to do it. Same goes with rude customers. Death. Similar to tasting lava? That's a combo. Cause and effect. Honestly, try going to a clothing optional / nude beach or something like that. It's incredibly freeing and liberating to have everything out in the open with the wind, ocean, sand and warm sun. I highly recommend it. It isn't for everyone though, so if you do want to do it, make sure you're really ready to do it. Stargazing in a dark sky area. Website currently having issues. But the Grand Canyon. I talk to so many people who have never been and are seemingly I'm like, you know, it's not just a big hole in the ground. Right? It's literally breathtaking. It messes with your preconceived proportions of how big Earth actually is. They call it grand for a reason. You should definitely go at least once. I totally agree with this. I did a quick visit on a trip to Vegas and it was the best part of my trip. I can't wait to go back.
Hey guys, if you like this video then smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more contents like this. And don't forget to press that bell icon to get notified for future videos. Thanks for watching. Click here to see more videos.